Do star ratings in professional wrestling actually matter? Right? What is happening, peoples? Welcome back to the Nerdic Pro Podcast. My name is, as per usual, Bobby effing Salazar. And I'm here to talk a bit about Dave Meltzer from the Wrestling Observer. Right? Does his star ratings, or anyone's star ratings, including myself, like including my star ratings in pro wrestling, actually matter? Looking more towards Dave Meltzer from the Wrestling Observer, right? Now, how is everybody? Welcome back to the Nerdic Pro Podcast. For episode and week 51 of Nerdic Pro Weekly. Only 7 more days to go until the 1 year anniversary of Nerdic Pro Weekly. Now, Dave Meltzer from the WON, the Wrestling Observer newsletter, has, over the past, since when? 1985. He actually first started giving out star ratings. Was it 1982 he founded the Observer? And then 85, I think it was 82 he founded the Observer, and then 85 he then rated his first 5-star match, which was, I think, something to do with the Nature Boy Ric Flair. But, yeah, I do know that it was a Dave Meltzer... Side on. What? Craig, what are you on about? Side on. What was I saying? I think it was 82 he actually first started up the Wrestling Observer newsletter. And I think it was 85 he rated his first ever 5-star match. Now, for those of you that don't know who Big Uncle Davey Meltz actually is, the camera is sideways. Oh, well, I don't care if the camera's sideways. Fuck it. We will live. Yeah, so Dave Meltzer is probably one of the most notorious faces, characters, and names in the world of pro wrestling. That is when you would like to find out star ratings in the world of pro wrestling. As literally anyone, even myself, even though that I can't hardly stand it, look at Dave Meltzer and his star ratings as the legitimate star ratings of professional wrestling, right? At the time of recording this podcast, right, Dave Meltzer has rated a grand total of 208 5-star matches or above, right? Out of 5, right? By this, I mean, you look at the Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada matches, right? The Kenny Omega Kazuchika Okada 4, which took place at Dominion in 2018, I think it was, right? New Japan Pro Wrestling's Dominion back in 2018. He ended up rating that match 7 out of 5, right? A grand total of 7 stars out of 5. Yes, okay, I've rated 3 matches above 5 stars, right? 2 5.25 and 1 5.5. Yeah, so, but the thing is, right? I was listening to the Busted Open Radio. This must have been Thursday, Friday, right? And obviously this is something that Bully Ray, formerly known as Devon Dudley of the legendary Dudley Boy tag team, appears on quite regularly, quite frequently, and he said, well, he said something along the lines of, well, why the fuck is he rating a match 7 stars, yet he rates matches out of 5, right? I look at it like this, right? I'm no fan of Dave Meltzer. I am, but I'm not, right? Yes, I'm a fan of Jim Cornette, but I'm not at the same time, right? But I look at it like this. A lot of, if you were to rate for everything that you'd rate 5 stars, right? A lot of matches that you rate 5 stars would be better than others, right? Because I've always looked at it. A lot of matches are better than others, right? So for I think so far for the Salastar rating system, right? I've done 10 5-star or above matches, right? 7 of which are actually 5-star matches. The first match that I rated 5 stars was in DDT, actually, over in Japan. That was a match between Konosuke Takeshita and Kazusada Higuchi. Fuck my boots. Where was it? What show was it? I think it was God Bless DDT or something, I think. Oh, I don't fucking know. Hang on. It was for the KOD Openweight title. I remember that part. And hang on, right. I've got all the things here. So the match that I rated 5.5 was Pro Wrestling Noah's Love Forever 3, which is Keiji Muto's retirement tour. I rated the main event of the show, which was for the GHC heavyweight title between the reigning champion Keita Kayamaya and Kazuyuki Fujita. I rated that 5.5 out of 5 stars, right? That's nothing on that side. You're a Raw. I've rated one WWE match 5 stars as of the time of recording this podcast, which was Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes at Hell in a Cell this year. So yeah, another match that I had rated 5 stars was at DDT Wrestle Peter Pan 2022 between Kazusada Higuchi and Tetsuya Endo. What culture? Excuse me. Hell in the Cell main event 2022 WWE, the only Hell in the Cell match that actually took place of the Hell in the Cell pay-per-view, believe it or not, between Seth freaking Rollins and Cody Rhodes. I rated that 5 out of 5. Just trying to find the other matches I've actually rated. Pro Wrestling Noah's final chronicle of 2022 for the GHC heavyweight title, the at the time defending champion Go Shiozaki versus Takashi Sugiura. I rated that 5 out of 5. Right, so here there. We're trying to find the 5-star matches. Right, so another 5-star match. Again featuring Kazusada Higuchi. Excuse me, which was actually at God Bless DDT. Not the Konosuke Takeshita match, but for the KOD Openweight title between Kazusada Higuchi versus Yukio Sakaguchi. I rated that 5 out of 5. Just trying to remember where that Joey Janela match was. Right, so, yes, no, never mind. So, Kazusada Higuchi, again, for the KOD tag team titles. Kazusada Higuchi, Naomi Yoshimura versus Daisuke Sasaki and Kanon. At DDT Get Alive 2022 on the 12th of the 10th, 2022. So another match was Grand Ship 2022 from Pro Wrestling Noah for the GHC heavyweight title. Keno versus Kaito Kayamaya. 5 out of 5. Cyber Fight Festival. That was just a fucking shock of shit, if you ask me. It's got a nice bit of fucking paper in it. Oh, no, never mind. Right, so DDT. Who's got a top 2022? Here we are. Right, so the first 5-star match that I actually rated was DDT. Was at DDT's Who's Got a Top 2022 show. Right, so the main event of this show was for the KOD openweight title between Kazusada Higuchi and Konosuke Takeshita. Right? Yes, I've rated quite a lot of Kazusada Higuchi matches 5 stars. I think he actually equivalates to 5 of the 10 5-star and above Salad Star ratings. But yeah, so it's only because Kazusada Higuchi, in my mind, is one very, very good wrestler. He can put on very good matches, right? Dave Meltzer actually rated that match 4.5 out of 5, and I ended up rating it 5 out of 5, right? So myself and Dave Meltzer do not have the same opinions on a lot of things when it comes to pro wrestling. Just putting it out there, right? I'm definitely not like Dave Meltzer when it comes to rating matches, and I'm definitely not like Jim Cornette when it comes to being controversial, right? And I can tell you that now, right? Just putting it out there, right? No names mentioned for who that's actually aimed at. But, yeah, so do star ratings in matches actually matter, right? I'm pretty sure that Dave Meltzer, like myself, right, only rates matches because he's a fan of pro wrestling, right? It's exactly what I do, right? I am just a fan of wrestling, right? I've been for God only knows how many years, right? And the reason why I rate star matches is because, you know, just to say on how much I actually like the match, right? How I like the build-up to that match. How I liked, like how I like the story of everything, right? And, you know, I rate matches, again, literally just because why the fuck not? Do you know what I mean? Right? You are more well within your right to disagree with my star ratings, right? You are well within your right to, right? But I only rate star matches, I only actually give matches star ratings because why not? Do you know what I mean? I can't speak on behalf of Dave Meltzer. I can't speak on behalf of anyone else who actually gives star ratings in the wrestling business. Do you know what I mean? Like any other podcast, right? Yeah, so I look at star ratings this way, right? I rate star matches, like I give star matches to get my word across, right? Some people may look at me when I actually rate matches, the star ratings I actually do, right? And look at me like I'm some sort of dick, right? I'm not trying to surpass myself into the public eye as an asshole. I'm not trying to push myself to actually look a dick, right? I am speaking my opinion, right, of the match, of the show, of the story, of this feud, of this grudge, of this rivalry so far, of that specific match that I'm actually rating, of that specific show that I'm actually rating, right? And you guys, the audience, are well within your right to disagree, right? Yes, I don't agree with a lot of Dave Meltzer's stuff, right? I do not agree with a lot of his star ratings, right? That Konosuke Takeshita, Kazusada Higuchi, who's got a top DDT, match, show, right? For the KOD Openweight title, Kazusada Higuchi versus Konosuke Takeshita in the main event, right? Dave Meltzer from the Wrestling Observer newsletter, right, rates it 4.5 stars out of 5. I rate it 5 out of 5, right? Yes, okay, we rated Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes at Hell in a Cell 5 out of 5. That Pro Wrestling Noah Final Chronicle show, Go Shiozaki versus bollocks, who was it? Was it Kazuyuki Fujita in the main event of that show? Either way, was it Go Shiozaki for the GHC heavyweight title versus Kazuyuki Fujita? We both rated that 5 stars, right? But those are the only 2 matches off the top of my head those are the only 3 matches that I actually know what Dave Meltzer rated. Like that are similar to mine, right? I obviously know that he rated fucking Gunter versus Sheamus at Clash of the Castle, right? On September 3rd, I know for the Intercontinental title. I know he rated that 5 out of 5. I've not actually rated the Clash of the Castle full stop. But yeah, so I am going to get round to it, right? But yeah, so will I rate it 5 stars? Probably. Will I rate it 4.75? Probably. Will I rate it 5.25? Probably not, right? But yeah, so yes, I was there at Clash of the Castle. I was there at the Principality Stadium, right, in Cardiff, or Principality Stadium, whatever the fuck it's actually called, right, in Cardiff for Clash of the Castle. But, you know, it's been 2 months since then, right? So, yes, all right, I should have rated it literally just as I got back, right, or on the following episode of Nerdic Pro Weekly. But, yeah, you know. But anyway, so, yeah, again, you are more within, like, you guys in the audience are well within your right to agree with the star ratings that I give. You are more than welcome to disagree, right? I don't care. Do you know what I mean? Right? If you agree, thank you. If you don't, well done. Do you know what I mean? If you do agree, I don't, thank you, but I don't care. If you don't agree, then I don't care. Do you know what I mean? Right? I give star ratings because I'm a massive wrestling fan, right? And I think that every wrestling fan and promoter to an extent, right, deserves to have their point put across, right, to the actual match. Do you know what I mean? That is actually being spoken about. Do you know what I mean? Right? But yeah, obviously I'm not a pro wrestler. Do you know what I mean? I've refereed 1 match in pro wrestling. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't exactly call that a career. Do you know what I mean? But I've been a part of 1 pro wrestling match, and yet I was the fucking referee for that match. That was Lion Wrestling Promotions Wrestle War on Saturday, October 1st at the Boston Gliderdrome, right? Refereeing a match that started before I was even born between the Lion, Aaron Sharp, and the Real Deal Steve Sykes. But, yeah, so as a podcast host of professional wrestling, and as a fan, well, who just so happens to be a fan of professional wrestling, right? I don't see nothing wrong with rating matches in pro wrestling, right? As, you know, a lot of people do it. Do you know what I mean? And then at the end of the day, I'm not the only one. Do you know what I mean? Right? You look at Dave Meltzer, right? The thing that gets me, right? Like another thing that gets me. When it comes to star ratings, It's the opinion of the person that had actually rated the match, right? If someone were to come to me, right, and say a match that I rated 5 stars, so off the top of my head, right? So take the 5.5 star match that I rated, right? That Pro Wrestling No It's Love Forever 3 for the GHC heavyweight title. Kaito Kiyomiya versus Kazuyuki Fujita, right? I rated that match 5.5 out of 5 stars, right? And if someone were to come to me saying, because I thought it was actually a really, really good match on the same show for the GHC tag team titles, I rated that was the second 5.25 match that I rated. The defending champions Takashi Sugiura and Satoshi Kojima versus Keno and Katsuhiko Nakajima, right? 5.25, right? If someone were to come to me, because I thought that those 3 matches were actually really, really good matches, right? If someone were to come to me or to put in the comments of this podcast that and actually watch the matches and that show for themselves, and said the matches that I had rated 5.25 and 5.5, right? And said that those matches were actually shit, right? I would disagree with them, but I wouldn't get all arsey about it, do you know what I mean? Because it's their opinion, do you know what I mean? It's their opinion of the match, right? And if you can't, because wrestling is an industry built up on opinionating, do you know what I mean? Right? Yes, I don't agree with a lot of opinions when it comes to pro wrestling. That's alright, I thought someone was behind me for a second. Judging by the, literally just above my finger there, I thought that was a head. No, I think it's the boxing bag that I've got behind me. There, that thing. Anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, wrestling is an industry built up on opinions and opinionating, right? And yes, I agree with some of Dave Meltzer's stuff when he says on that Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada match at Dominion in 2019. Fucking quality match. Probably, yes, one of the best of all time. Right? Again, I'm a massive fan of Japanese strong style myself. Right? Literally all but 1 5-star matches that I've actually rated have come from Japan. Right? Only because since the start of the Star rating system, I've rated a very minimal amount of wrestling outside of Japan. But besides that, so if you don't want to listen to certain people's opinions, especially in terms of podcasting, right? If you don't like my opinion, like take myself, right? If you don't like my opinion of certain matches, of certain shows, of certain wrestling companies, right? Don't fucking press play. Do you know what I mean? Right? Save your time. Do you know what I mean? This is the, I believe, 120th podcast of the Nerdic Pro podcast, right? If you don't like what I have to say, if you don't like what people who have previously appeared on the Nerdic Pro podcast have to say, right? Don't fucking watch any of the 120 podcasts that have happened here on Facebook and over on Spotify / Anchor podcasts, right? As you're not fucking legally obliged to. Do you know what I mean? I respect and thank the viewership, right, of yourself and the time that you're actually taking to watch the podcasts and listen to the podcasts. But if you want to give me shit and give other people shit here on the Nerdic Pro podcast because of opinions, etc., do yourself a favour and fuck off, right? Because I ain't being funny nothing, right? Yes, I can agree with some stuff that Dave Meltzer says, right? But yes, I disagree. Yes, I disagree with a lot of stuff he says, right? But I don't give him hate for it. Do you know what I mean? Right? Yes, I agree with a lot of stuff that Jim Cornette says, but I don't agree with a lot of it. I don't agree with all of it. Do you know what I mean? Right? And again, I don't give Jim Cornette hate. Do you know what I mean? Right? If I disagree with an opinion of something, then, especially in wrestling, right, then it's not my business to, as a podcast host, especially considering that the Nerdic Pro is not exactly the biggest wrestling podcast in wrestling podcasting, right? And yeah, so I completely forgot what I was fucking saying from there, but bollocks. But yeah, again, I don't preach hate on people because they have a different opinion to mine on matches and star rating quality and this and that and the other, right? It's the same with opinions on which wrestling company is the better wrestling company. AEW is better than WWE. No, WWE is better than AEW. Shut the fuck up, right? And just be a fucking wrestling fan, you dick, right? It frustrates me when people constantly, because I'm on a lot of wrestling pages, I'm in a lot of wrestling groups on Facebook, and I follow a lot of wrestling pages on Facebook, right? And I do read through a lot of these comment sections saying, take an AEW show, right? Take some people going on about Full Gear, which is taking place, I think, this weekend or next weekend, one of the two. And people saying that it's got to be a shit show, AEW is shit in general, right? And it's like, well, if you think that AEW is shit, right, why the fuck are you going to waste your time? Why the fuck are you going to waste your time watching it? Do you know what I mean? Right? Don't preach hate on other people because of the things that they like. Do you know what I mean? Right? And see, like, don't give people shit because they like something. Do you know what I mean? Right? Yes, I am more of an AEW fan than what I am WWE, but I still watch WWE because again, it was WWE that actually got me started as a wrestling fan in the first place, right? So, unless they have real shit booking from now on under the Triple H regime of booking and creative, right, then I might turn away for a good couple of months or a few weeks and all that, and maybe just chime into pay-per-views, right? But, as I said, yes, I'm more a fan of AEW than WWE, but I don't preach hate on people that are WWE fans. I'm more of a fan of WWE than what they actually are, AEW, right? And yeah, so, or just WWE fans that are just WWE fans and not AEW fans, right? I'm someone who watches a lot of wrestling, and I do mean a fucking lot of wrestling, right? And I listen to a lot of podcasts, right? Like on top of that as well, right? And the thing that gets me, right? I only watch the amount of wrestling that I do because I'm a wrestling fan. Do you know what I mean? Right? There are some companies out there that I probably won't watch because I watch companies that are a bit better than others, right? That I do spend more time, that I do dedicate more of my time to actually watching than others, right? But it's not all of them, do you know what I mean? Because, you know, I'm someone who watches WWE, AEW, Impact, New Japan, Pro Wrestling, Noah, Tokyo, Joshi Pro Wrestling, Ganbei Pro Wrestling, Pro Wrestling, Noah, fucking Falling Star Wrestling, Lion Wrestling Promotions, Progress Wrestling, Game Changer Wrestling, House of Glory. If I've not mentioned it already, Impact Wrestling, fucking what else? AAA, CMLL, if I've not said it already, Over the Top Wrestling over in Ireland. So yeah, I am someone who watches a lot of wrestling, right, and listens to a lot of podcasts, right. I do dedicate my time to more of my time to the bigger, better known companies like your WWEs and your AEWs and your New Japans and your TNAs or / Impacts, right. But I do still watch the other companies purely because of the fact of how they have a more relaxed schedule, so they put on less shows than the bigger companies like your WWEs and your AEWs. So your House of Glories and your Game Changers, right, have less shows per year than what your WWEs and your AEWs and your Impacts, TNAs will do. Do you know what I mean? But, yeah, so because I rated Keita Kayamaya and Kazuyuki Fujita 5.5 stars for the GHC heavyweight title at Pro Wrestling Noah Love Forever 3, right? If you want to disagree with it, right? But don't fucking preach hate about it, right? If Dave Meltzer wants to rate Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada at Dominion in 2018 7 out of 5 stars, then Dave Meltzer rates Kazuchika Okada versus Kenny Omega at Dominion 2018 7 out of 5 stars. Do you know what I mean? Fucking live with it. Do you know what I mean? It's the bloke's opinion. It's my opinion, right? It's your opinion to disagree. Do you know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure that we can agree to disagree, right? There's a saying out there that I've literally just said, right? We can agree to disagree, right? If you can't accept that, then don't fucking press play. Do you know what I mean? Right? I couldn't really give a fuck if you could disagree with what I say, right? But if you want to disagree with what I say, go ahead. Do you know what I mean? I'm not asking you to agree with me. Do you know what I mean? Because if I did, I would ask. Do you know what I mean? Right? But, yeah, So, yeah, if you would like to... fuck me, this podcast has only been going on for half an hour. Christ. But, yeah. Send in to the Nerdic Pro Podcast Facebook page by either commenting on this podcast's comment section or sending in private messages and direct messages or PMs or DMs if you're a abbreviator. Your favourite matches of all time and your star ratings of those matches, right? And yes, so without further ado, I would like to thank each and every single one of you guys for actually listening to this podcast, whether it be live or after the live stream. Thank you very much. Next Monday, for the year anniversary for Nerdic Pro Weekly, that's this series. So next Monday for the year-long anniversary of Nerdic Pro Weekly. What's it? Yeah, so every single Star rating that I have rated between the actual original, like me, starting Star ratings to today, or till next week, will be podcasted about next Monday, right? I believe there is, give or take, currently, at the time of recording this podcast, about 300 matches, right, across about 3 dozen shows. So give or take about 35 shows. There's about 300 matches, so 35, 36 shows, thereabouts. And again, there's about 300 plus matches, 350 matches, if not more. So yeah, that will be podcasted about this time next week. So yeah, next Monday at 8, no, tell you what, since it's got to be like a longer podcast, because it's got to be more matches to podcast about. Next week, Nerdic Pro Weekly will be starting 2 hours earlier than its normal starting time of 8 p.m. It will be starting, instead of 8 p.m. UK time, it will be starting at 6 p.m. UK time. Right, so make sure you're there, make sure you tune in for that. So yeah, thank you very much for actually listening to this podcast. My name has, as per usual, been Bobby Salazar, and I shall be seeing all you guys later on. Thank you very much. See you later. Goodbye.